Hello, I'm back at the Level 2 chargers here in Burnsville. These are public chargers put in by the city, right next to the Ames Center, which is a performing arts center that hosts everything from concerts, comedy shows, and dance recitals. And this is what I think is one of the best places and best uses of Level 2 charging. So I want to talk through that because a lot of times if I read an article or really see the comments on an article about a city or a venue adding Level 2 chargers, there's invariably the comments of, who would want an electric car that's going to take 8 hours to charge? And that's a good point. For the most part, no one's going to want that. Now, these chargers aren't fast. They aren't the kind of thing you would use necessarily on a road trip, but what they're really useful is for places like this, for large parks or entertainment venues where you're going to be spending multiple hours there. So here, not too far away, we have a couple restaurants. There are apartments for people who need to use those. I covered those in last week's video. And right here we have the Performing Arts Center. So ideally, in a situation like this, you're coming to this area to have dinner with friends, which might take an hour or two, and then you're going to go see a show, again, which might take an hour or two, maybe 3, depending on the type of entertainment you're in for that evening. And then you might go to a local bar nearby and have a couple drinks. Of course, not the driver, but you're going to be spending many hours here, and when you get done, you'll have quite a bit of charge. Now, these chargers can add about 30 miles in an hour. And so if you're down here for about 5 hours, you can add 150 miles, and that's pretty good. So for venues like this, or state parks where you'll be hiking most of the day, or places like Buck Hill, a local ski area, has plenty of Level 2 chargers, both Tesla chargers and J1772 chargers, because again, you're going to be there for several hours skiing. So these are the perfect places to have slower charging available. Now, if you're on a road trip, you're not going to use these, probably, unless you're, again, stopping at a state or national park that has something like this, and you're going to be hiking or taking a significant break. On those trips, road trips like I'm about to set off on tomorrow, we'll be supercharging. And so when we hit those supercharging spots, we'll be spending anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes at those locations, depending on how much charge we need and how much family time we need at those stops. So when those comments get posted that who would want an EV that needs to charge for 8 hours, again, pretty much no one unless they're going to be charging overnight. But when you get to places like this, this is the perfect place for Level 2 charging. As more and more places look for what kind of charging infrastructure they want to add, both cities and even gas stations as they transfer to adding both liquid fuel and energy as fuel, it's important to look at what kind of situation you're in. Almost everywhere I charge, I at least go in and get some sort of snack because I'm probably using the restroom, and especially if the charging station is hosted by the venue, I want to make sure to patronize that place. But for gas stations thinking of adding charging, it's kind of a tough call. On one end of the spectrum, you have Quick Trip, which has installed a 110 outlet, and they say that is for EV charging. And it's on a light pole or something, usually in their parking lots. Now, officially, from Quick Trip, I've heard that that plug is really for employees who will be there for an 8-hour shift. So again, it doesn't need to be fast, and it's not really for public consumption. So I'm not really going to count those plugs as real EV charging, although if you're in a real bind, I'm sure they would help you out. Now, the other end of the spectrum is Level 3 charging, and a lot of superchargers are at gas stations or nearby travel centers, things like that. And in those situations, generally, if you're supercharging and there for a bit, like I said, you're going to go in, you're going to use the restroom, and most people are going to buy something or their family will buy something. That will bring more revenue in. You're not only getting the snacks and amenities costs from the people buying gas, you're also getting it, and maybe even more, from the people charging. I know there are times when my family and I will get to a charger and we'll go in and buy something, and then just before we're about to leave, oh, I want one more thing. But level 2 is where gas stations really need to think through their strategy. If you install a level 2 charger, yes, people will be forced to be there for longer, so you might get those repeat customers within one charging stop. And especially if you're, again, around parks, around other attractions, level 2 might be just right for you. But you need to be pretty much within walking distance, or people are gonna probably resent that they have to level 2 charge and take that extra time. And that can backfire. In that case, people will probably choose to find a level 3 charger for faster charging so they can get to the location they want to. So it's something to consider. Do I want maybe more traffic by people coming to a level 3 charger on my property, still get that transaction of, people purchasing things as they use the restroom and whatnot? Or do I want to try to hold people here longer, but maybe be skipped over because people aren't going to stop at a level 2 at only a gas station? So as there's a lot of talk of infrastructure and how do we plan this out, it's important to look at what your situation is in your town, in your business, what you're trying to attract. Are you trying to attract people to a downtown area that has a lot to offer? Or are you trying to help people along their way as they travel across the state? So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this and kind of think through the places you frequent and what kind of charging would be the best to offer in those places. Next week, look for our road trip video with the family. We are going to Custer, South Dakota, to the Tesla Sound of Silence rally. It should be a lot of fun. There's going to be tons of Teslas there, and events and drives, photo opportunities, sights, sounds, smells of buffalo, hopefully, and lots of excitement and really cool things coming up. So we're actually leaving for that tomorrow night as I'm recording this. So time to wrap it up here and prep for that trip. But thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.